Mondays to Fridays, and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Home visits and emergency services are also available. Call 448-0100, WhatsApp 276-5213, or visit any of their other locations. Picard in Portsmouth, Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Marigot, Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Or Grande, every first and third Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. La Falaise Medical Laboratory. My choice, your choice, our choice.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
Good evening and welcome to the DBS Evening News. In the headlines, one of the contestants for the Miss Dominica 2026 Queen Pageant has withdrawn her participation in the event. In news from the region, St. Lucia's Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre announces his new cabinet of ministers. And internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump announced that Thailand and Cambodia have agreed to halt all hostilities along their shared border. I'm your presenter this evening, Alian Christopher. These are the headlines that we're looking at. The details of the news when we return.
This Christmas, Flo's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news, Queen contestant Ardelle Laura has withdrawn from the upcoming 2026 Miss Dominica Queen Pageant. The announcement was made by the Discover Dominica Authority DDA through the Dominica Festivals Committee DFC.
The Discover Dominica Authority, through the Dominica Festivals Committee, informs the public that Miss Ardelle Laura has withdrawn from participation in the upcoming Miss Dominica Queen Pageant. Her decision arises from personal matters that require her full attention and care. In her statement, she expressed heartfelt appreciation for the opportunity to participate and gratitude for the support she received throughout the pageant journey. We at the Discover Dominica Authority and the Dominica Festivals Committee respect her decision and extend our best wishes to her and her family. We also acknowledge her dedication and the grace she displayed throughout the process. Preparations for the 2026 Miss Dominica Queen Pageant remain on schedule, with contestants continuing to train and prepare for an exceptional showcase on February 12, 2026, as part of Dominica's Carnival celebrations.
And that's communications specialist at the Discover Dominica Authority, Monel Alexis. 24-year-old Christian Yannick Blanc of Grand Bay has been sentenced to 2 years in prison after pleading guilty to manslaughter of 31-year-old Jason Sorrendo of Dalis, who resided at Grand Bay. Ronaldo Luke Pascal reports.
According to the facts presented in court, the incident occurred on August 15, 2023, after Blanc attended an event in Grand Bay while in possession of an unlicensed firearm. While returning home, Blanc discharged several shots into the air near Sorrendo and a French national. Following the incident, the two men went to Blanc's yard and demanded the gun. A struggle ensued, during which Blanc observed that Sorrendo himself was armed. Blanc fired a single shot, which struck Sorrendo in the head, resulting in his death. Blanc fled the scene with both firearms and remained at large for 1 day. He initially attempted to leave the country, but later surrendered at the Portsmouth police station. Prior to his sentencing, the court granted a request for a maximum sentence indication for manslaughter by reason of an unlawful act. On December 2nd, the court issued its indication of 3 years and 1 month. Blanc was given 1 week to decide, but on the same day, asked to be rearraigned. He again pleaded not guilty to murder, but admitted guilt to the lesser charge of manslaughter. This was accepted by the prosecution. On the day of sentencing, Justice Jill McDowell established a starting point of 12 years, taking into account the circumstances of the offense, including the use of an illegal firearm, blast concealment of the weapon, and the prevalence of firearm-related offenses in Dominica. Mitigating factors of the offense included the absence of premeditation, the recovery of both weapons, and the fact that Sorrento entered Blast's yard armed, making him the aggressor. An aggravating factor, however, was Blast's own possession of an illegal firearm. The sentence was reduced from 12 years to 10 years. In assessing the mitigating factor related to Blast personally, the court noted his good character, youthfulness at the time of the offense as he was 21 years old, his strong prospect for rehabilitation, and genuine remorse. At court, Blah read a written apology to the family of the deceased. These factors reduced the sentence by 4 years, bringing it down to 6 years. A 25% discount for his guilty plea further reduced the sentence by 1 year and 6 months. Full credit for time spent on remand of 2 years, 2 months, and 14 days was granted. Subsequently, the final sentence imposed by the court was 2 years, 3 months, and 16 days imprisonment. Ronaldo Luke Pascal reporting for DBS News.
And all thanks to Ronaldo Luke Pascal for that report. In other news, the police are reporting that it has seized well over $46 million worth of drugs for 2025. Acting Police Chief is Lincoln Corbett.
In terms of drugs, but cocaine, primarily cocaine, we've seized in excess of 1,332 kilos of cocaine, 1,732 kilos of cocaine. And for those of you who have been following us closely, we had a big burn about 2 weeks ago. And all of that would have gone up in smoke. All of it and some more would have gone up in smoke at the Monroe's compound.
That's Acting Police Chief Lincoln Corbett. Meanwhile, the police force are reporting the seizure of 84 firearms for 2025.
We've seized so far for the year 84 firearms, including firearms that were brought in through the customs illegally. 84. And I'm suspecting the numbers will increase. But 84 firearms have been removed from the streets of Dominica, from the hands of criminals. Removing firearms, getting firearms, that's a big thing. Because it's not easy to get firearms. It's not easy. It's not like buying bread. It's not easy. So 84 firearms, including high-powered firearms, rifles, submachine guns, and high-powered pistols have been recovered. And for the year, so far, we have removed from the streets of Dominica 1,310 rounds of ammunition. And we've seized in excess of $84,000 EC for the year.
Acting Police Chief Lincoln Corbett are in the process of procuring 2 additional ambulances for the Fire and Ambulance Department. The announcement was made by the Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. He said these new ambulances will be on island in the first part of 2026.
The plan of the ministry and the government in the high-intensity areas in terms of population, the Roseau catchment area, and to have one-on-one ambulance. It's still in Portsmouth and in Marigot. But with COVID-19, you had a number of issues, and because of the stress that was brought to bear on those vehicles, some of them fell through. So as we speak, we're procuring 2 additional ambulances, modern ambulances, if everything you can think about. And approval has been given to that already. And we are expecting those ambulances to be there in the first part of the new year. And to ensure that Roseau has 2 ambulances at all time, and to ensure that all the health districts have ambulances, as we always seek to do.
Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. The minister further added that 2 additional fire trucks will be shipped to Dominica in the coming days.
From the 15th of this month, 2 additional fire trucks will be shipped to Dominica. They have been paid for already from England, and those trucks will come all fitted with modernized equipment. And one of the issues that we have been talking about in terms of having foam generators on the trucks, and also having extension ladders to up to about 45 to 40 feet. And also ensure that we have proper quarters affixed to the truck so that in the event where people are trapped in difficult areas, especially when it relates to when you have vehicular accidents, the people can be extricated with those quarters that will be attached to those trucks when they arrive in Dominica. It takes 40 days to get to Dominica from the date I just made reference to, on the 15th of this month, not January. So we're making progress, and I think that's important to let the public know, because there has been so much hope being made about.
And that's the Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. Minister of State in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Oscar George, has praised the creativity, discipline and entrepreneurial spirit of Dominica's young caterers as the Dominica Youth Business Trust, DYBT, hosted its third annual Caterers Showcase at the Prevost Cinema today. Addressing participants, George told the culinary entrepreneurs that the opportunity to showcase their skills and offerings to the public is invaluable.
We must understand that all things equal, there will always be a demand for catering services. People have to eat, but the reality is many people or organizations may not have the time to prepare meals, especially in large quantities. And these opportunities matter. They open doors for sales, partnerships, and long-term business growth. So to all our caterers here today, the opportunity to showcase your skills and delicious offerings to the public and private sector entities is invaluable. This showcase signals something crucial, which is targeted, intentional opportunities for our entrepreneurs to show what they can do. Importantly, when we provide platforms like this, we allow you to build confidence, to cultivate professionalism and create real linkages that translate into income, visibility, and progress. And as I've said previously, this showcase could not have been held at a more opportune time.
That's Minister of State in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Oscar George. The Caterers Showcase, it ran today until 3 p.m. The Diocese of Roseau has unveiled 3 major activities to commemorate the closure of the Global Jubilee Year. Vicar General and Chairman of the Jubilee Committee, Father Nigel Karam, made the announcement during a press conference this morning. This year, the Catholic community in Dominica celebrated the Global Catholic Jubilee Year 2025 under the theme Pilgrims of Hope, alongside its 175th anniversary.
This month of December, as we close the Universal Jubilee, we have 3 events happening. On the 16th, 17th, and 18th, next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Bishop Kendrick Forbes, the Bishop of our diocese, will be leading and giving talks on the subject of prayer. This will be done from the Cathedral Church, and we're inviting all our parishioners, all the members around the diocese, around the island, to gather, to listen to these talks, these teachings and reflections on the topic of prayer. On Friday night, there is a penitential service at the cathedral, and all are invited to join us as we prepare for the Christmas season. The second major event that will be taking place will be on the 28th of December, beginning at 5 p.m., and that will be the closing of the Universal Jubilee. So we began on the Feast of the Holy Family 2024, and we're ending the Universal Jubilee, that jubilee established by the Church every 25 years. We will be closing it on the Feast of the Holy Family, Sunday, the 20th of December at 5 p.m. The final event will take place on the Feast of the Epiphany, that we will celebrate on the 4th of January, Sunday the 4th of January in the evening.
That's Vicar General and Chairman of the Jubilee Committee, Father Nigel Karam. The government of Dominica has reaffirmed its commitment to food security and national development, announcing almost $1 million in support to farmers during an equipment handover ceremony this week. Minister Dr. Irving McIntyre highlighted that the equipment forms part of a long-term plan to strengthen local production and meet growing food demands. He urged beneficiaries to properly maintain the tools as a way of honoring the government's investment.
It's a major investment, $954,105 EC, just a little under $1 million, which is a significant amount that the government is investing. So it's a major investment in you. So what we expect is that we maintain and take care of all this equipment that you're going to be receiving today. That is the best way to show appreciation for a gift and what the government is investing into you. And if we can do all of this, I think we'll all be happy. This is a win-win for everybody, whether it's Ministry of Finance, whether it's Ministry of Agriculture, whether it's you, the beneficiaries, everyone stands to benefit. The entire country stands to benefit. So we've played our part. We're just asking all the beneficiaries to please pay your part. You have just as an important a function and a responsibility to the development. I said it earlier, yes, we will make sure the funds are available. Yes, we'll make sure the assistance is available. All we need you to do is just play your part so that we can address our food and security point of view.
Dr. McIntyre further highlighted Dominica's rapid infrastructural transformation, including the international airport and the expanding hotel sector, emphasizing the importance of the farmers when these developments come on stream.
Now, the food and security point of view is not just for us, the Dominicans who live here and eat here. Very soon we'll have an international airport. Very soon the marina will be there. Very soon the cable car will be open and all the hotels will be open. So you just have to try to imagine a couple of years from now, we're going to have hundreds and thousands of people in this country. How do we feed all these people? Ourselves as well as the visitors. So I don't want you to panic. I see some of you looking at me so seriously like, wow, how am I going to pull this off? But the country is depending on you. The country is assisting and giving this assistance so that you can help the country to make that further step in our growth and development. So I have the full confidence that you've gotten the picture where you fit into this whole stuff. I've been in all contexts. So now it's for all of us to do what we have to do.
That's the Minister for Finance, Dr. Irving McIntyre. 94 farmers benefited from the government's handing over of equipment this week at the DAPEX facility. 84 received irrigation supplies and 10 received beekeeping tools. That's the national focus. Stay tuned. Regional and international developments up next.
This Christmas, Flo's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
DBS News.
Welcome back in news from the region. St. Lucia's Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre announced his new cabinet today. Pierre was sworn in on December 5th following his St. Lucia Labour Party's crushing defeat of the United Workers' Party at the December 1. At the swearing-in for his second term, the Prime Minister added 2 new ministries to his portfolio. He held the Ministries of Constituency Development and People Empowerment in addition to continuing as Minister for Finance, National Security and Justice. Pierre entered his new term with 14 MPs as well as 2 independents. Internationally, U.S. President Trump announced that Thailand and Cambodia have agreed to halt all hostilities along their shared border starting today. Trump said he spoke separately with the prime ministers of both nations, describing the discussions as very good and focused on ending the recent flare-up of their long-running territorial conflict. According to Trump's message on Truth Social, both leaders committed to immediately stopping all gunfire and returning to the peace framework previously negotiated with U.S. involvement alongside mediation by Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. The renewed ceasefire comes after several days of deadly clashes that displaced thousands of civilians and threatened to unravel a truce brokered earlier this year with Malaysia's help. That's news. The sports report comes up shortly.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome to the DBS Evening Sports Report. We kick off. The multi-million-dollar Windsor Park Sports Stadium is moving steadily ahead, with all underground works now completed and major shipments of equipment scheduled to arrive in Dominica in January. The announcement was made by the Minister of State, Oscar George. He emphasized that the scale and complexity of the project have contributed to delays, with works set to resume in the new year.
Obviously, a $13 million project will take some time to complete. It will present some inconveniences, especially in a facility where a facility that is used for different purposes. So we understand that the lights that was there initially, they did not serve cricket, and now we are proposing a much more advanced, high quality lighting fixture with all sorts of innovations. And that's why it's so expensive. And of course, to say further, these lightings are not something you can pick out from the store. It's something that you have to take your specifications from the Windsor Park. And just the manufacturing of these poles take up to 2 months. And obviously, they are shipped all the way from India to Dominica. And that is the cause of much of the delay. And I really want to ask the public for their patience in the process, because it's a long journey, and it's a journey that have a lot of moving factors. But nevertheless, the contractor has given the assurances that they'll be here in January, and you mentioned of this lighting project. It's a very important project, not just for sports, but for the country on a whole, because the venue can be used for different activities, not just for sports.
Minister of State with responsibility for sports, Oscar George. Head coach of the National Under-20 men's football team, Delroy Watt, says his squad has to put in the work to be able to handle the pressure of playing 4 games in 7 days in the 2026 CONCACAF Under-20 qualifiers. The qualifiers will get underway in Costa Rica in February 2026. Dominica has been placed with the Dominican Republic, Antigua, St. Lucia, and the British Virgin Islands in Group C of the tournament. Watt says while the group may be favorable for Dominica on paper, the scheduling of the matches will be a challenge, and the team has to work hard in training.
All right, it's easy to say that it's comfortable, but we don't underestimate any opponent, Gavin. We have a lot of experience in playing regional and international tournaments, Gavin, and it's never wise to underestimate anybody. We're preparing as if we're preparing for Mexico, Gavin, because really and truly that is what that's going to take us or make us be successful. So, but one major concern I have in the preparation is during that competition period, Gavin, we are tasked to play. We're playing 4 games in 7 days. I can tell you, Gavin, that is an area that we, the coaching staff, are mitigating against, and devising ways to basically overcome that challenge. Because really and truly, Gavin, how many players here, amateur youth players, play 4 competitive matches in 1 week, Gavin? Not many, or none at all. You understand? So really and truly, what happens when the body is not used to that sort of load, you will find players breaking down and not performing at their optimal by the second, even third game. So that is what that is the approach we are taking. We want to get the players physically, mentally, technically, and tactically ready for that challenge, playing 4 matches in 1 week in Costa Rica, Gavin, come next year.
Head coach of the National Under-20 men's football team, Delroy Watt. Fonkole FC have stomped their way into the semi-finals of the DFA Division 1 President's Cup after they pounded Exodus FC in quarter-final action last night at the DFA Technical Center. Shamari Bob and Kujon Israel got a brace each. Kudel Joseph and Kujon Harris netted a goal each as Fonkole took the match 6-1. Evanslow Jean got the lone goal for Exodus. Fonkole head coach is Royson Williams.
Well, it was a nice experience tonight there. The guys did exactly what I told them, but in the latter end, we had a lapse in concentration and we conceded a goal, but otherwise, everything was just A-okay.
Shamari Bob, kind of standing out tonight on the goal scoring. We've not usually seen him score in the last couple of games, but, he did to add to tonight. What's your take?
Well, Shamari has been nursing a foot injury for the longest while, so we was just bedding him into the game. But tonight he grabbed the game by the scuff of the neck. You understand? So, yeah, we'll see where we go from here, but he's still nursing the injury. But Shamari is a top player. He was playing for the Middle Arm FC, and then he come over to help the team. But we try and build something special for the next few years to come.
What are some of the things that you will want to work on as the President's Cup Division 1 progresses?
Well, I see we were making some mistakes there tonight. I have to address that. We have to have a meeting and I have to talk to the players because I see something that I didn't like.
Right, and generally, how was the overall season for you all?
Well, it was a success. From where we were to where we are now is a big, big step up. And I'm hoping things continue going on an upward path.
That's Fonkole head coach Royson Williams. The DFA quarterfinals will continue tonight with Warner taking on the newly promoted Premier League side DeWitt Center Mighty Avengers. That game gets underway from 7. The West Indies batsmen failed miserably as New Zealand powered their way to a comprehensive win in the second test inside 3 days. 7 West Indian batsmen fell for a single-digit score as the Windies had no answer for Jacob Duffy in their second innings as they were bundled out for 128 runs on day 3. Well, Kavim Hodge got a top score of 35 and Justin Greaves got 25. Duffy picked up 5 for 38 and Michael Ray 3 for 45. New Zealand chasing just 56 to win, won very comfortably, hitting 57 for 1. Devon Conway got 28 not out and Anderson Phillip, he took the lone wicket for West Indies. The final scores in the second test, the Windies 205 and 128 all out, New Zealand 278 for 9 declared and 57 for 1. New Zealand won by 9 wickets, while West Indies captain Ruston Chase was disappointed with the batting effort.
Yeah, I think the batting is a bit of a concern after coming from that test match, having a beautiful second innings. I thought we came here and our batters never capitalized on the conditions. I thought we got some starts in the first innings, but no one really went big. And then in the second innings, no one really got a start. So I think that's where we went wrong.
Conditions were a little bit different, probably not quite what either team expected here at the Basin Reserve. Was that something that you guys as a batting unit struggled with, and arguably more than the Kiwis did this week?
No, I don't say it's something that we struggle with, but initially we thought that the pitch would have been similar to Christchurch because you get a lot of bunks here, especially with the green wicket and stuff, but I thought that this wicket was a lot easier, settled down a lot easier than the first Christchurch wicket. I thought it was easier for batting, but the scores didn't reflect that.
That's West Indies captain Ruston Chase. New Zealand leads the 3-match series 1-0. Jacob Duffy was named the man of the match. The third and final test starts next week, Wednesday. Head coach of the national under-17 women's football team, Rosilia Regis, says her team will be looking to ride on the momentum of the under-14 girls as they get set for the Windward Island under-17 football tournament. The tournament will be held from December 17th to the 20th and will feature Grenada, St. Vincent and Dominica. Well, Joseph Fadul caught up with the junior women's team at a recent practice and had a sit-down with Coach Regis.
I must say that the girls are working pretty hard and they're mixed of the under-14 and the under-15 from previous tournaments. And most of them are in the National Academy right now, so they are doing double work. So this should probably help them to prepare for this tournament that we're going into. They're keeping the end pretty well because it's the same methodology that I'm using. So it's for the other players to get used to this style of play. They know it already, so I'm using them a lot during the training session to lead the others so they're on the same page. So it's nothing new, it's nothing bigger. They just have to improve. So the intensity has improved as well because they are getting older. So put them under a lot more stress to see how their body react and how they can think.
So far, you satisfied that, you know, their reaction capabilities, their thinking on the field, you're satisfied they can handle it going into this WIFA tournament?
Yes, definitely, because from the beginning we have always been using different coaching terms and they understand it, so it's nothing different. As I said, it's just to push them a little bit harder and get their body a lot more physically ready, because we realized that was the area that we lacked when we did the CFU under 14. So getting them strong on the same level with the other under 15 players, and they should be ready to go.
Will there be any overseas players coming down to strengthen the team?
As far as the team is right now is strictly local. And what that says is that we can do it. But also we're not saying that if there are any overseas-based players that we would not be interested in. But as for now, the players are all Dominicans locally and they're ready for that tournament.
That's head coach of the national under-17 women's football team, Roselia Regis. Well, finally, National Director for Special Olympics, Dominica Innsmouth Irish, has announced that the organization will host its second Family Health Forum on Saturday at the Prevost City Mall. The event is expected to bring together approximately 35 athletes for a morning of health education and support.
The Special Olympics Dominica will be conducting a Family Health Forum on Saturday, 13 December 2025 at the Prevost City Mall. We expect some 35 athletes and their parents to be in attendance. Of course, the Health Forum is sponsored by the Lions International Club Foundation and, of course, Aruna Ashby Oswald Trust. And last week we conducted the similar family health program in the Kalinago where some 30 people attended. At this forum in Rose on Saturday at 10 o'clock at the Prevost City Mall, we expect 2 doctors from the Roseau Health District and also a dietitian to address the gathering. And we expect it to be very informative. So in a nutshell, we're happy that this health forum is finally into Dominica, as it has been around the Caribbean and globally. And indeed, I'm happy to report that the first one went down very well, and we expect the second one to go down equally well.
And that's National Director for Special Olympics, Dominica Innsmouth Irish. And with that, we wrap up the evening's sports report as well as the news for this evening. I've been the presenter, Alian Christopher, or of course our links person, Joseph Fadul. We're saying good evening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles. Nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 12th day of December 2025. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Deaf announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We announced the death of Mr. Garner Edward Morris Paul, age 90, of St. Joseph, who resided at Jaminit. He was a renowned architect and builder, also a former member of Domtario Construction Company, Endeavours Club of St. Joseph, Masonic Lodge of Canada, Lions Club, and Cicero Club. He was the husband of Agnes Esprit. He was the father of Mitchell and Eloise and their families. He will also be remembered by the children of his deceased sons Michael, Ronald, and Clancy and their families, his sisters Janelia Thomas and her family, children of his deceased siblings Vivian Noel and Phyllis, also Philip and Peter Augustus Paul and their families, including the Labbards of Murphy Lane, Mike